Linda L. Miller,
and Robert Dean. We will be reading the news from the Tuesday Fayetteville Obsever. Your weather. Today will be pleasant with clouds and sun. The high will be 87. Tonight it will be clear with a low of 65. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny. The high will be 89 and the low 66. On Thursday there will be a thunderstorm and spots in the afternoon. The high will be 85, the low 66. Friday will be partly sunny. A high of 89 and a low of 69. Saturday will be partly sunny and warm. The high will be 93 and the low 70. Sunday there will be an afternoon thunderstorm possible. The high will be 91, the low 71. And on Monday it will be cloudy with thunderstorms possible. Also be humid with a high of 85 and a low of 67. Sunrise today was at 6:02 a.m. Sunset tonight will be at 8:27 p.m. Moonrise today was at 1:36 a.m. Moonset today will be at 1 p.m. Sunrise on Wednesday will be at 6:01 a.m. and sunset tomorrow will be at 8:27 p.m. The last moon is June 6th, new moon June 13th, first moon is June 20th, and full moon is June 28th.
good morning again. Today in history. Today is Tuesday, June 5th, the 156th day of 2018. There are 209 days left in the year. Today's highlight: on June 5th, 1968, Senator Robert F. Kennedy was shot and mortally wounded after claiming victory in California's Democratic presidential primary at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles. Assassin Sirhan was arrested at the scene. In 1794, Congress passed the Neutrality Act, which prohibited Americans from taking part in any military action against a country that was at peace with the United States. In 1884, Civil War hero General William T. Sherman refused the Republican presidential nomination, saying, "I will not accept if nominated and will not serve if elected." In 1950, the U.S. Supreme Court in Henderson versus United States struck down racially segregated railroad dining cars. In 1967, war erupted in the Middle East as Israel, anticipating a possible attack by its Arab neighbors, launched a series of preemptive airfield strikes that destroyed nearly the entire Egyptian Air Force. Syria, Jordan, and Iraq immediately entered the conflict. In 1993, country star Conway Twitty died in Springfield, Missouri at age 59. In 2004, Ronald Wilson Reagan, the 40th President of the United States, died in Los Angeles at age 93 after a long struggle with Alzheimer's disease. Okay, we have some birthdays, a couple of birthdays. June 5th today, June Hinch. And birthdays of celebrities. Broadcast journalist Bill Moyers is 84. Country singer Don Reed, the Stradler brothers, is 73. Rock singer Laurie Anderson is 71. Country singer Gail Davies is 70. Author Ken Follett is 69. Financial guru Susan Orman is 67. Rock musician Nicole McBrain, Iron Maiden, is 66. Jazz musician Peter Erskine is 64. Actress Beth Hall is 60. Actor Jeff Garlin is 56. Actor Ron Livingston is 51. Singer Brian McKnight is 49. Author Mark Wahlberg is 47. Actress Navi Rott is 41. Rock musician Pete Wentz, Fall Out Boy, is 39. Actress Chelsea Chris is 35. Happy birthday.
Daybreak. Need to know. Yoga in the garden. Cape Fear Botanical Garden and YMCA of the Sand Hills have partnered for Yoga in the Garden on Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m., suitable for beginners and experts alike. Bring a yoga mat and water. Free registration is required. Call 486-0221 extension 36 or stop by the garden to register. It's free for Garden and YMCA of Sand Hills members. It's $5 per session for non-members. The garden is at 536 Northeastern Boulevard. Fayetteville after 5. The free outdoor concert is the second Friday of each month in Festival Park. This month's entertainment features Slippery When Wet, a Bon Jovi tribute. Gates open at 5 p.m. Food trucks are on site. Murchison Road Farmers Market. The 2018 season of the Murchison Road Community Farmers Market starts Wednesday. The second Wednesday of each month is Healthy Wednesday, where area service providers and community groups bring information on wellness and health care to the market. Blood pressure, blood sugar, and other screenings are provided that day. Local chefs also stop in for cooking demonstrations using the produce that is available that day from the market. The market is open Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Bronco Square across from Fayetteville State University. Lumbee Homecoming Events. Registration is open for cyclists, runners, and walkers who want to take part in the 2018 Lumbee Homecoming 10th Annual Bike Ride and the 37th Annual 5K and Fun Walk. Registration forms and other information is available at lumbeehomecoming.com. The bike ride is June 30th. The 5K and Fun Walk is July 7th. We want to hear from you. Please submit your events in writing at least 10 days in advance. Email calendar at fayobserver.com or fax complete details to 486-3545. For questions, call 486-3500.
Livewire, personal property memorandums not valid in North Carolina. Question. My father-in-law made out a will and divided everything equally between 4 kids. He decided to leave certain things to one daughter, so he wrote that out and notarized it. This was done after the will. Will that cause problems later? Answer. That notarized document sounds like a personal property memorandum, a document that functions as an add-on to a will and saves the testator, the person who is making the will, the time and trouble of doing a full legal execution of the will every time he wants to revise it. Many states allow and recognize personal property memorandums, but not North Carolina. According to a memo about North Carolina state laws published on the Legal Assistance for Military Personnel website, the memorandum would have to be created as a codicil to the will, which is a revision or supplement. The state has a legal procedure for this. Livewire suggests that you and your father-in-law consult an estate lawyer on creation of a codicil or using some other means to ensure that your father-in-law's desires for this property are accounted for when he dies.
Public Safety, Cumberland County, arrest. Sarah Lindsay Vandenmead, 31 of the 1900 block of Cedar Creek Road, was charged Monday with breaking and entering, larceny, and possessing stolen property. Bail was set at $2,500. Alexander Dubois Ritchie, 51 of the 200 block of Roxy Avenue, was charged Monday with 7 counts each in breaking and entering, larceny, and possessing stolen property, and 1 count each of obtaining property by false pretense and misdemeanor larceny. Bail was set at $81,000. Anthony Michael Delgato, 25 of the 33 block of Grays Creek Church Road in Hope Mills, was charged Monday with obtaining property by false pretense. Bail was set at $5,000. Roy Jr. Proctor, 43 of the 100 block of Kensington Circle, was charged Monday with 2 counts of forgery and 1 count of uttering a forged instrument. Bail was set at $3,000. Rodriguez Dion Corbett, 39 of the 7600 block of Branchwood Circle, was charged Monday with assault with a deadly weapon inflicting serious injury, kidnapping, and 4 misdemeanors including larceny, assault on a female, communicating threats and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Bail was set at $21,500. Shannon Lockamy Hansen, 46, of the 3200 block of Marigold Drive, charged Sunday with possession of cocaine and misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia. Bail was set at $3,500. Break-in. Sterling Street was reported at 11:28 p.m. on Saturday. Money was taken. Wade Haysfield Road was reported at 7:20 p.m. on Saturday. Nothing was reported missing. Wolford Court was reported at 9:43 a.m. on Saturday with tote bins, Hot Wheels cars, and a lawn edger taken. Delena Street was reported at 8:02 a.m. on Saturday. Nothing was reported missing.
Rowan Street Bridge opens today. 6-lane spans replace structure that had become functionally obsolete. Traffic near downtown Fayetteville gets a new look today when the Rowan Street Bridge partially opens to traffic. The opening is scheduled for mid-morning, according to a spokesman for the North Carolina Department of Transportation. No ceremony is planned. Workers will just move the barricades out of the way to let drivers pass. Here are 5 things to know about the long-planned opening of the 2-span bridge. 4 lanes for now. Only 4 of the eventual 6 lanes will be open initially, 2 in each direction. The new bridge is made up of 2 spans, one of which crosses the CSX Railroad with the other crossing the Norfolk Southern Rail line. Construction on the 2 other lanes will have to wait until the old bridge is demolished. It's ahead of schedule. DOT had projected the bridge would open around the end of this year. However, favorable weather and other factors allow contractor S.T. Wooten Corporation of Wilson to finish the work early. Wooten has been using an innovative schedule to deliver this project quicker than anticipated. DOT engineer Jason Salisbury said in a news release, "We also allowed some of the construction phases to be done simultaneously to further expedite the work." Work on the span again shortly after the $24.3 million contract was awarded in October 2016. A slight delay. On May 22nd, DOT announced the bridge would open May 29th. However, a delay in getting some bolts delivered pushed the completion date back a week. DOT spokesman Andrew Barksdale said, "Realignment. The new bridge is part of the bigger project that will realign Rowan Street, Murchison Road, and Bragg Boulevard into a new intersection. The intersection is expected to create a new downtown gateway and more prominent route to the Fayetteville State University campus on Murchison Road. Also, the realignment will allow for expansion of North Carolina Veterans Park near the Airborne and Special Operations Museum on Bragg Boulevard. Obsolete. The old 4-lane bridge was built in 1956 and had become functionally obsolete for current traffic, the DOT said. It required expansive maintenance. Demolition to the old bridge is scheduled to begin June 11th and is expected to take 6 to 8 weeks, the DOT said. The state hopes to have traffic in the final 6-lane configuration sometime in early 2019.
Rally planned by Anti-Gen X Group, a group that uses social media to speak out against a potentially carcinogenic compound and its maker, plans to hold a candlelight rally Thursday outside the company. The North Carolina Stop Gen X and Our Water group on Facebook is promoting the event at the Chemours plant, which is off NC 87 in Bladen County near the Cumberland County line. Chemours makes Gen X at the facility, and the compound is a byproduct from other processes there. Gen X, which is used to make non-stick cookware and other products, has been linked to several forms of cancer, but it isn't known if the effects is the same in humans. The rally Thursday marks a year since the Wilmington Star News reported that researchers had found Gen X in the Cape Fear River. The chemical has since been found in private wells, lakes, swamps and rainwater around the Keymores plant. The rally is scheduled for 8 p.m. Beth Clyde Marquesino, one of the Facebook group's organizers, said she didn't know how many people might attend the rally. The group has more than 11,000 members.
Jobs coming downtown, council told. The developer of the Prince Charles Hotel project downtown has a tenant lined up for the Festival Park Plaza building downtown that will employ 75 to 100 people, the Fayetteville City Council was told Monday night. The downtown redevelopment project also was close to getting 3 new restaurants downtown, project manager Jordan Jones said at a council works session meeting. These are some highlights from a presentation Jones made to update the council on the downtown Renaissance plan. Developers are in the middle of spending $65 million in downtown Fayetteville to rehabilitate the old Prince Charles Hotel into apartments and retail space, buy the Festival Park Plaza building from the city, and build new hotel and office building along with a parking deck. The Prince Charles and Festival Park Plaza projects are happening in conjunction with a baseball stadium the city has under construction to be the home for a minor league team with the Houston Astros. The stadium is scheduled to open in April of next year for the 2019 baseball season. The city sold the Festival Park Plaza office building on Ray Avenue by Festival Park to the Prince Charles developers in April. The city long struggled to find and keep tenants in the building and put it up for sale years ago. We've secured a tenant to occupy the entire second floor, Jones says. To bring them down here, my team will be investing about $1 million into the building to upfitting the floor for them. In addition, we'll be building brand new surface parking lot just to the west of the promenade. The promenade runs along the west side of the Festival Park Plaza building to Festival Park and is where food vendors and other booths set up for the city's annual Dogwood Festival in the spring and the International Folk Festival in the fall. The new parking lot will have at least 100 spaces, Jones said. When it's not providing spaces for the building, it will be available for the parking public during downtown events, including baseball games, for a fee, Jones said. Prince Charles developers are close to executing a lease agreement with a restaurant operator out of Virginia, Jones said. The company would operate 2 restaurants in the old Prince Charles Hotel, plus another in the new parking deck that will be under the new hotel and office building. It's not a chain. All local foods, Jones said. What I love about them as an operator, all of their employees receive full benefits, living wages, and retirement and health benefits. The rehab, Cliffdale Road widening. Along the rehab of Old Prince Charles is well underway, Jones said. When finished, it will have 62 apartments and 15,000 square feet of retail space. Residents should be taking occupancy in February, Jones says. The project is breaking ground for its new 5-story, 486-space parking deck this month, and the hotel and office building towers are to break ground in April of next year, Jones said. Those are to be finished in April 2020. The council took up other matters on Monday. Cliffdale Road widening. The State Department of Transportation plans to widen Cliffdale Road between Morganton and McPherson Church Roads. Planning efforts are beginning and construction could begin in 2024, according to the City of Fayetteville. The council decided to formally express its opposition to a $16 million North Carolina Department of Transportation plan to widen the eastern end of Cliffdale, which is a residential area. But it wants to couch its opposition in such a way that it does not close out other improvements the state might make to the road. The State Board of Transportation controls road projects such as this, although it can be influenced by the concerns of local elected officials. Residents on and near the 0.9-mile stretch are intensely opposed to the widening. They don't want to give up parts of their yards and are fearful that widened road will bring more traffic and depress property values. Senior and Wellness Center. The city will continue to study whether and how to partner with Fayetteville State University to build a facility on Murchison Road that would serve as a senior center for city residents and a wellness center for the school. It also would have a auditorium, and there was discussion of partnering with the Cumberland County Board of Education on the project so the school system could use the pool for its swim teams. Recall elections. The council is continuing to pursue a plan to give residents the opportunity to initiate a recall election to pull a mayor or sitting member of the council out of office during the middle of a term. This follows the crisis the city faced this past winter and spring when then Councilman Tyrone Williams became the subject of a new law enforcement investigation because he asked the Prince Charles developers for $15,000 shortly after he took office. Williams said it would be a way to clear up any clouds that hung over the title to the Prince Charles property in the wake of a dispute he had with the prior owner. Canceled primaries. The council agreed in a 7-1 vote to proceed with the proposal to do away with council primary elections. It's not certain that it will happen. Councilman Bill Cripp suggested the city should quit holding the election primaries because they cost the city about $100,000 each, and he does not think they are necessary. If this plan takes effect, all candidates would face each other in a general election, and the winner could be decided with less than 50% of the vote, possibly far less if the field has many candidates. Whoever gets the most votes is it, Chris said. There was some discussion of whether to hold a runoff election should no one get more than 50% of the vote. Mayor Mitch Colvin said he wants to put Chris' idea to a ballot referendum to see whether residents are in favor. He also said other ideas the council has been considering, such as extending terms to 4 years from the current 2 years, should also be subject to a referendum. Councilman Kathy Jensen voted against the Chris plan to cancel primaries. She thinks they help ensure the ultimate winner of the general election has a clear support of the voters. Election filing fees. The council voted 7-1 to pursue a proposal by Chris to boost the filing fees for people who want to run for mayor or the council. Chris said this would dissuade unnecessary candidates from running. Councilwoman Tisha Waddell said the increased fees might block well-qualified candidates who have little money, and she voted no. The fees are $24 to run for a council seat and $48 to run for mayor. Chris' proposal would change those fees to 1% of the position's salaries. The fees would go to $170.88 for council and $312.55 for mayor.
Wilkie to skip business symposium. The man President Trump has nominated to be the next VA secretary will no longer headline this week's symposium for North Carolina businesses supporting the military. The medical, biomedical, and biodefense support to the Warfighter Symposium is today and Wednesday in Chapel Hill. Robert Wilkie, a Fayetteville native, had been scheduled to headline the event. He is the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness and served as acting secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs until Trump nominated him to officially take that position. Wilkie is awaiting confirmation. Thomas McCaffrey, acting Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs, will replace Wilkie as one of the speakers at the event, officials said. Other speakers will include Rear Admiral Mary C. Riggs, Director of Research and Development for the Defense Health Agency, and George Korsh, Science Advisor and Acting Assistant Secretary for Preparedness and Response at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The symposium is hosted by the North Carolina Military Business Center, Senators Richard Burr and Tom Tillis, the North Carolina Biotechnology Center, and the University of North Carolina. For more information, go to ncmbc.us/2018 MBB.
Childhood home of J. Cole vandalized. Someone defied the childhood home of J. Cole, the Grammy-nominated rapper, over the weekend by scrawling sentences across the front of the split-level house in the Forest Hill neighborhood off Kane Road. J. Cole, do you even care about the bill? The spray-painted graffiti said. It was removed by Monday afternoon. Fayetteville police said they received no report of vandalism at the house. The home at 2014 Forest Hills Drive is where Cole and his brother moved to after their mother remarried. Cole's father was military and the family lived in military housing until the couple split. Cole was 4 when his mother moved her 2 sons into a trailer park in Spring Lake. Cole used the address as the title of his 3rd studio album that was released in 2014. The cover showed Cole sitting on the roof of the house. Cole has maintained ties with his hometown, including creating his nonprofit, the Dreamville Foundation, which was established in October 2011, according to the organization's website. It was created to bridge the gap between opportunities and Fayetteville's youth, the website said. In 2016, kids taking part in the Fayetteville Urban Ministries Find a Friend program got a big surprise when Cole stopped by and visited with them for a couple hours. He returned the next day to meet with high school students. In 2015, Cole announced plans to use the 1,600 square foot Forest Hill Drive house as a rent-free home for single mother families. The house was bought in June 2014 by Cole's Dreamville Foundation for $121,000.
This is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service, a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on public donations. We request your support to continue our services. When making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our address is P.O. Box 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at area code 910-672-1600 or toll free at 1-844-709-5656. The radio hosts are
Linda L. Miller
and Robert Bean, and we are proud to serve you today. 82nd's Devil Brigade focuses on new fight. Colonel Tobin Magzik has counted the days. 71 have passed since the 1st Brigade Combat Team, 82nd Airborne Division, returned from an Afghanistan deployment. But that's not a sign of the brigade looking back. Instead, Magzik said the Devil Brigade is very much focused on what's to come. On Fort Bragg this week, 1st Brigade paratroopers are conducting a training exercise meant to prepare them for that future, using live ammunition and a scenario meant to mimic a real-world fight against one of the nation's top military competitors. It's a big step up in complexity from the brigade's most recent deployment, where it worked alongside Afghan army partners. We're turning focus from the Taliban and ISIS to a near-peer threat, Magzik, the brigade commander, said. To do so, paratroopers from the Devil Brigade have embraced tactics better suited for a more advanced enemy. On Monday, they carried anti-tank weapons into battle, simultaneously fought off cyber attacks, cleared underground bunkers, and donned gear to protect them from a chemical attack. That's not the environment we faced in Afghanistan, but that's the environment we've got to be prepared to face, Magzik said. The live fire exercise was focused on preparing the battalion's dozen maneuver companies for a more complex battlefield, Command Sergeant Major Brian Otero said. This week, the companies are taking turns assaulting and breaching an enemy complex, clearing a faux chemical weapons facility, and repelling a counterattack. The training runs take place during the day and night. Otero, the senior enlisted leader for the 1st Brigade, said the paratroopers know what to expect and company leaders are able to prepare their own plans to deal with the scenario. There aren't any curveballs that will come later, but instead the brigade is trying to build a foundation of solid tactics and confidence before a more complex exercise at the Joint Readiness Training Center at Fort Polk, Louisiana, later this year. It's about muscle memory, Otero said. It's empowering junior leaders. On Monday, B Company 1st Battalion, 504th Parachute Infantry Regiment could hear the mock battle before they emerged from the woods surrounding the Fort Bragg training area, known as OP-13. With an AH-64 Apache helicopter overhead, mortars raining down from a firing point nearly a mile and a half away, and unmanned aerial systems keeping watch overhead, the paratroopers emerged from the trees and launched their assault. Bound in between cover, the soldiers pushed deeper into the complex of buildings, vehicles, and defensive positions. Soldiers blew a path through a barrier of razor wire and burst through doors with explosives of well-placed shotgun blast. Afterwards, observers and leaders huddled together to discuss what went right, what could be better, and who was deserving of recognition. Maxick said about 120 soldiers, mostly infantrymen and engineers, took part in each iteration of the training, but hundreds more supported them, sight unseen, while providing command and control, artillery fires, logistical support, and protection. That sprawling network of support and the firepower that was on display were a sign of the growing complexity of warfighting, Maxick said. He noted how the B Company commander could see a live feed from an overhead RQ-20 Puma unmanned system, while an RQ-7 Shadow provided additional overwatch. Company leaders could see the positions of their platoons and squads from handheld electronic devices and could call in artillery strikes with the press of a button. This is much more than hand grenades and machine guns, Maxick said. Maxick said there's no doubt this training is more complex than what the brigade did in preparation for its Afghanistan deployment. But he said the brigade still relies on basic soldier skills for success. The building blocks are always the same. You're still dominating the enemy, Maxick said. You're still setting conditions for squads and teams to be successful. They're always the same. What changes is the conditions you do it in. For the 1st Brigade, that means conducting a live-fire exercise in 90-degree temperatures while in full protective suits. Soldiers don mission-oriented protective posture, or MOP, suits over their uniforms and body armor that add 20 or so degrees in body heat. When clearing the full chemical facility, soldiers put on additional gear to include masks and heavy gloves. Maxick said the protective gear and fighting in blacked-out tunnels and bunkers were part of a new norm for the 82nd Airborne Division, which he tasked with having soldiers ready to deploy on short notice anywhere in the world. The world is a dangerous place. You don't have to look very far to know that there's people who want to bring ill will to the United States of America and our way of life, the colonel said. And there's a chance those enemies will use chemical weapons. We've seen that employed in Syria and other places. And as an army, we've got to be ready to meet any threat around the world at any time, Maxick said. Us focusing on training in a chemical environment is just prudent measure to be ready for what may lay ahead. Maxick said he was proud of what his paratroopers have done so far. He called them well-resourced, well-led, and well-prepared. Paratroopers always say, ready for what? And really, it's ready for anything, he said.
Man's body found in shallow grave. This is in Clinton. The body of a Harrell's man was found in a shallow grave Saturday after his stepfather received an anonymous call telling him his son was dead, the Sampson County Sheriff's Office said. Jamaris Pridgeon, 20, of Isaiah Murphy Lane, which is in Bladen County, was found about 9 p.m. in a wooded area off Wilbur Pridgeon Road, about 6 miles west of Garland, a Sheriff's Office news release said. Pridgeon's stepfather received a call Saturday morning from the anonymous caller who said Pridgeon was dead and his body was in Sampson County, the release said. His stepfather, who was not identified, began checking locations in the Harrell's area and found Pridgeon's vehicle on CC Road, about 3 miles from the intersection of Wilbur Pridgeon and Sarcos Roads. The man called 911 about 9:30 a.m., the release said. Investigators found signs in the vehicle that something had happened to Pridgeon. Detectives from Sampson and Bladen counties said the State Bureau of Investigation began searching the area. The cause of death has not been determined, the release said. Investigators say they have a person of interest in the case, but no one has been charged.
County OK's Jobs Incentives Grant. Commissioners award funds to help local company expand. The Fayetteville company is considering an expansion project that could bring more than 200 jobs that pay significantly more than the average wage in Cumberland County. The Cumberland County Board of Commissioners on Monday approved an economic development incentive package for the company expansion. The commissioners voted unanimously for a local incentive grant of $89,000 or less after holding a public hearing on the project. No one spoke during the hearing. Robert Van Jones, president and CEO of the Fayetteville Cumberland County Economic Development Corps, told commissioners that the company is considering adding 208 jobs by 2023. The company, which specializes in management consulting and engineering services, already employs 40 people here, he said. The new jobs will have an average salary of about $64,300, but a lowest paying position of about $50,000, and Jones said. Average annual wage in Cumberland County is $35,435, he said. The company has not been identified. The matter is referred to in county documents as Project Intelligence. The company is expected to spend about $1.2 million on real estate and equipment, and a projected future investment of more than $5 million, according to county records. The Fayetteville City Council is expected to consider a similar economic incentive agreement, Van Jones said. Local officials also are working with state officials on a comprehensive package, he said. Commissioners did not discuss the project Monday. Chairman Larry Lancaster spoke to Van Goynes after the vote. Keep on bringing them, Lancaster said. In other action, commissioners met behind closed doors for 22 minutes to discuss a personnel issue. No action was taken after the closed session.
Commissioners okay budget with no tax hike. Thank you. Cumberland County Commissioners unanimously approved the county's budget for 2018-19 Monday that keeps the county's tax rate at 79.9 cents per $100 in property and gives county employees a 3% raise. The budget provides $900,000 less funding for Cumberland County schools, but sets aside nearly $400,000 to pay for 7 additional school nurses. Commissioner Jimmy Keefe made the motion to approve the budget, which the commissioners said he supported, even though he would like to make some tweaks. I am comfortable with the budget as it is, he said. Other commissioners made similar statements. Commissioners Chairman Larry Lancaster said he wasn't surprised that commissioners could agree on the budget, even though each likely wanted minor changes. I think in the spirit of cooperation, each of us decided to forego all that and say, we've got a good, solid budget. Let's move on, he said. The commissioners' vote came after no one spoke during a public hearing on the budget. The budget calls for the school system to get $79.46 million. The school board had asked for $85.8 million. The school system is getting $80.36 million in the current year. County officials have previously said that the school system would have gotten $76.0 million if it would not have been held harmless to a decline in property values after last year's reevaluation. Carrie Sutton, chairwoman of the Cumberland County Board of Education, said she was disappointed that commissioners didn't grant the school board's request for funding. I don't know when it happened that schools and education became a second priority, she said. I don't understand it. Sutton said the school board's request included funding for more school resource officers to provide security. A big issue is school safety, she said. The school system requested $3 million to pay for 43 more school resource officers, so each school would have one. Officers now are based at each high school and middle school, with coverage of elementary schools at one officer or about every 5 schools. Sutton and Marvin Conley, Jr., who will become superintendent of schools on July 1, has been involved in the school system's efforts to obtain funding from the county. Conley said the school system was willing to phase in the number of school resource officers over 3 years. He said commissioners should know that school safety was the number one issue in a community survey that was done while the school board was searching for a new superintendent. Did they not hear the cry from the community to improve school safety, he said? Conley said he was hoping commissioners would recognize the school system needs. Conley said he appreciates the funding for more school nurses, but the system also is below the nationally recommended level for counselors, psychologists, and social workers. We should be looking at how to increase funding, not reduce it, he said. Conley said he was hoping commissioners would at least continue the school system's funding at its current level. Now, I've got to figure out how to make reductions to the current budget, he said. Conley said he had gotten excited when he learned that the school system and the county had a funding agreement. That agreement expires June 30th. Commissioners had talked about extending the agreement, but no deal was reached. Lancaster said county officials will talk with Conley about an agreement. Once he's in town, we're going to move toward a long-term funding agreement with the schools, Lancaster said. The budget includes 10 other new full-time positions and 2 new part-time positions, $30,000 for a study of how the county can better attract and keep employees, a 5% increase in current expenses funding for Fayetteville Technical Community College to $11.74 million and $250,000 for a proposed North Carolina Civil War and Reconstruction History Center.
NC on short list for new Army command. North Carolina is one step closer to landing another major Army command. Raleigh has emerged as one of 5 finalists for U.S. Army Futures Command, a new organization that will be led by a 4-star general and tasked with leading and streamlining modernization efforts. Boston is also a finalist, according to the office of Senator Tom Tillis. The other 3 have not been publicly revealed. On Monday afternoon, Tillis praised Raleigh's inclusion on the narrowing list. This decision comes as no surprise. Raleigh will be a perfect host of the Futures Command and the perfect home for the soldiers and their families, Department of Defense, civilians, academics, scientists, engineers, and innovators who are involved with the effort, Tillis said. Raleigh is in close proximity to Fort Bragg, and the area offers an incredible combination of high quality of life, affordable cost of living, and world-class research institutes that would support the Army. I will continue to work with our state leaders on a bipartisan basis over the next month to show that Raleigh truly is Army strong. The Army has said that the creation of Futures Command represents one of the largest reorganizations in modern Army history. The new command will be comprised of organizations currently split between the Army's 3 existing major commands, which include U.S. Army Forces Command at Fort Bragg, U.S. Army Training and Doctrine Command at Fort Eustis, Virginia, and U.S. Army Material Command at Redstone Arsenal, Alabama. In April, the Army announced that Raleigh was one of 15 cities chosen as finalists. The others were Atlanta, Austin, Texas, Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Houston, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, New York, Philadelphia, San Diego, San Francisco, and Seattle. Officials have said they hope to find a home for the new headquarters outside of a major military installation and within a city that is close to universities and technology companies. Tillis said the command is expected to be comprised of about 500 soldiers and civilian workers. A final decision on Futures Command is expected by the end of the month. According to reports, Army officials may soon visit the Raleigh area as part of their search. In April, the Secretary for the North Carolina Department of Military and Veteran Affairs, Larry D. Hall, said Army officials were looking outside Raleigh's city limits and that the state was pitching the entire Triangle area as a potential home for the command, including Durham and Research Triangle Park. It's a natural fit, he said, citing the area's academic institutions, research partners, and overall quality of life. But the biggest selling point, Hall said, might be the state's existing relationships with the military, to include the largest military installation in the nation in Fort Bragg and the Army Research Office, which has called the Triangle home for more than 60 years. Hall said other government agencies, including the Environment Protection Agency, have similar research hubs in the Triangle. We have a history in this area, although it's not well known, he said in April. We're a proven entity.
Fairmont motorcyclist killed in collision. This is in Lumberton. A Fairmont motorcyclist was killed Sunday when he entered a curve on North Carolina 130, met an oncoming car, and slammed into it while trying to avoid a wreck, the North Carolina Highway Patrol said. Trayvon Devon Stackhouse, 24, of Fairgrove Road, was traveling an estimated 110 miles per hour when the collision happened, according to a report filed by Trooper K.D. Williamson. The wreck happened at 8:42 p.m., just west of Horncamp Road, about 1.5 miles west of Fairmont. Stackhouse, operating a 2016 Suzuki, was traveling west when he entered a curve at a high rate of speed, the report said. The motorcycle crossed center lane as an eastbound 2010 Lexus sedan driven by Lorianne Chavis, 44, of East White Pond Road in Fairmont, came into the curve. The motorcycle traveled off the road to the left as Chavis steered to the right, but the vehicles collided nearly head-on, the report said, near the shoulder of the road. Stackhouse, who was wearing a Department of Transportation approved helmet, was thrown from the motorcycle on impact and pronounced dead at the scene. Chavis and 2 passengers in her car were taken to Southeastern Regional Medical Center in Lumberton, where all were treated and released, Sergeant R.D. Wright said.
Centenarian attributes longevity to Serving the Lord by Myron B. Pitts. There are many Stackhouses in West Cumberland County, and that's an understatement. It's a lot of them, says Rose Stackhouse, laughing. Family and friends gathered Monday at the home of matriarch Ida Gertrude Stackhouse, who lives on Hope Loop Road. It's the home where she and the late John H. Stackhouse, whom she married in the 1940s, raised Sharon, Shirley, Pearl, Curtis, Clyde, Clinton, Claude, Clayton, and Curry. They were there to celebrate Ida Stackhouse's 100th birthday, which was Monday. World War I would end a few months after she was born. That October, the Spanish flu would kill 21,000 Americans in 1 week. Mississippi became the first state to prohibit alcohol. The big technological improvement in Ida Stackhouse's days came when the family got a wind-up phonograph record player. She attributes her long life to one thing: I serve the Lord, she says. She adds, flashing a wide smile, that she also likes to play rather than fight. If you fight, you might get hurt, she says. Family members on Monday wore red shirts celebrating her birthday. Celebrating 100 years, the shirts read, but God getting all the glory. Ida Gertrude Stackhouse. Family peeled potatoes on the front porch, grilled pork ribs and chicken on a large grill out back, and made pans of macaroni and cheese and dressing in Ida Stackhouse's kitchen. They began to gather about 2 p.m. Rose Stackhouse said the celebration would go until Fayetteville Mayor Mitch Colvin issued a proclamation naming June 4th Ida Gertrude Stackhouse Day. Congratulatory letters came in from Governor Roy Cooper and State Representative Elmer Floyd. Stackhouse says she uses a wheelchair these days because of arthritis and the caution she exercises since she had a bad fall. But nearly every Sunday she attends New Bethel AME Zion Church on Amarillo Drive. She has taught Sunday school, Bible study, and vacation Bible school. She grew up in New Bethel and was baptized in Lake Rim so long ago she doesn't rightly know what age she was. And just always had been there, she says. She was a farmer's daughter, one of 10 children. She grew up near enough to what was Camp Bragg that she remembers when soldiers still transported equipment by horse and wagon, she says. She told her mother about. They would walk long distances to attend various worship services, often meeting in folks' homes. I was my mama's child, she says. Wherever she went, I went. People would join them on their walks to worship. They'd take breaks under a shade tree. Often, spontaneous singing and shouting would start and would continue when they resumed the journey. Times were very simple, she says. She contrasts that with today. Her view children are not expensive. If parents would refrain from getting them everything they think they want. How can I want so many different things when I can only play with one thing at a time, she says. She remembers playing baseball with 3 bases. Her brothers made slingshots from pieces of wood and strands of rubber from old inner tubes, she says. Gifts were for Christmas time. During the year, we played with what we could find. Her church family celebrated Stackhouse on Saturday with a service that included praise and worship, scripture, a salutation from Pastor Chalmers McDougall, and a procession of people bearing their gifts. On the bulletin were listed her children, 14 grandchildren, 32 great-grandchildren, 26 great-great-grandchildren, and 4 great-great-great-grandchildren. This centenarian, so at home anywhere the Lord is about, called the service wonderful.
Hope Mills Board okays $13 million budget. The Hope Mills Board of Commissioners approved its 2018-19 budget Monday night, and the $13 million figure does not include a tax increase. The budget keeps the tax rate at 46 cents per hundred of property valuation. It includes some small increases in fees such as bulk yard waste collection and plumbing permits. The board spent much of its meeting time Monday discussing problems at the lake, which was refilled in January after a new dam was built. Swimming has been prohibited at the lake since fecal bacteria levels were found to be above state limits. Melissa Adams, the town manager, said testing is continuing. She said the most recent tests show the bacteria levels still are too high. A lake celebration is planned for the end of this month and the beginning of July. It is not known if the water will be ready for swimming right now. Kenny Bullock, the Parks and Recreation Director, said lake attendants have been encountering harassment as they try to enforce the no swimming rule and other rules. Bullock said a church, despite the ban, even held a baptism at the lake. Bullock said some people were very disrespectful to the attendants. They're catching hell, he said. Adams said one solution might be to increase police presence. The board also discussed the problem of geese at the lake. The birds dropping have created a hazard and are contributing to the fecal bacteria problem. One possible solution that was discussed was bringing in a business that uses border collies to keep the birds away. No method was decided upon. The board asked Adams to look into the matter further. The board heard from Dan Horwitz, Jr., the town attorney, on the issue of town officials being a member of an invitation-only Facebook group called Hope Mills Chatter. Mayor Pro Tem Mike Mitchell expressed concerns about officials being a new member of the group. He was consensus over the matter earlier by a majority of commissioners who said Mitchell should have brought the issue to the board earlier. Harwood said that while the law is unclear on social media matters, being a member of a group such as Hope Mills Chatter does not seem to violate law. Mitchell thanked Harwood for looking into the matter. I think we've learned something, Mitchell said. I just want us to be transparent and open. The board also approved a site permit for Robbins on Main Restaurant, which is moving from Main to Trade Street. It also held 2 closed sessions under attorney-client privilege.
Robinson attorney, one of 2 crash victims, Lumberton. Robinson County Attorney Patrick Pate was remembered Monday as a kind, tender-hearted man who would do whatever it took to get the job done. Pate, 34, was one of 2 people killed Sunday in a head-on vehicle collision in Cumberland County. There's an overwhelming sense of grief here, one Robinson County government employee said Monday. Everyone has a heavy heart. Pate had been county attorney since 2014. He replaced Hal Kinlaw, who resigned as county attorney in June of 2013. It's tough. Patrick was really liked here, Robinson County Manager Ricky Harris said Monday. It's a rough day for us. The Robinson County Board of Commissioners was scheduled to meet Monday evening, but canceled the meeting due to Pate's death, county officials said in a release. This was his first opportunity in county government, Harris said, and he grabbed the ball and took off. He was participating with our economic development team and was involved with the remodeling of the BB&T administration building. Throughout, he was a real asset to the county. Harris said Pate's character was probably his best quality. He was just well liked and involved in all the budget processes. The county board will make the decision on Pate's successor, Harris said. To find another one as good as him is going to be very, very hard, said Commissioner David Edge, who represents District 6. Edge helped hire Pate as county attorney. I interviewed several people, and it was my choice, he said. It was just a cut above. It would do whatever it took. Commissioner Burlester Campbell, who represents District 2, said Pate was always willing to sit down and talk about anything or everything. A young man like that, younger than my son, I could see the growth in this young man and this county. The crash happened about 3:40 p.m. on Cumberland Road. Pate of Lumberton was driving one of two pickup trucks involved in the crash. He was dead at the scene, said First Sergeant Matt Hardy of the North Carolina Highway Patrol. Donald Reichner, 66, of Fayetteville, the driver of the other vehicle, also died in the crash, Hardy said. According to the accident report, Reichner was driving a 2008 Dodge Ram south on Cumberland Road, which has 5 lanes in that area. Pate was traveling north in a 2012 Chevrolet when Reichner crossed 2 lanes and the trucks collided, Hardy said. Both men were wearing seat belts, according to Hardy. One of the trucks caught fire after the wreck. Before becoming county attorney, Pate had been in private practice in Robeson County. His experience included criminal law, civil suits, juvenile court, family law, real estate, personal wills and estates, and bankruptcy. A graduate of Lumberton High School, Pate earned degrees in political science and exercise sports science from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. In 2009, he completed his law degree from Campbell University in Bowie's Creek. In addition to his work as county attorney, Pate helped operate his father's small strawberry farm. Every year, Patrick Pate would stage a small parade on the farm, which he claimed was the world's shortest parade. There would be horses, antique cars, a school marching band, and local lawyers would come out and walk in the parade. He knew what his position was, Campbell said of Pate. He knew he was there to offer his opinion. He did his lawyer thing, and he was real good. He kept us informed. He's going to be missed now.
Letter to the editor. Weaponized words. In reference to Steve Elderman's May 25th column. A good article about the deadly effect of slings, but I'm sad to say there is a far more deadly weapon in extensive use. That is the power of the word and its indiscriminate use by big media. Big news broadcasts consist of talking heads releasing carefully engineered sound bites, working to increase their ratings, advertising with a thinly disguised agenda, making sure it's a wonderful world for everyone if only you will buy their product. Talk shows where everyone is talking but not listening. Don't get me started on that one. Not to worry, sir. You and other columnists are one of the reasons I'm sticking to print media. I may not always agree with you, but I will read your column. Daniel Clark, Fayetteville. This is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service, a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on your public donations. We request your support to continue our services. When making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our post office box number is 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at 910-672-1600 or our toll-free number 1-844-709-5656. Your radio hosts are
Robert Bean
and Linda L. Miller, and we are proud to serve you today.
It is the top of the hour, time for the obituaries, death notices. The following deaths have been reported. Coming editions of the Fayetteville Obsever will contain complete obituary information. Cumberland County, Mary K. Lipscomb, 88, of Fayetteville Cremation Services. James W. Slack Strother, 76 of Fayetteville, Heron Funeral Care and Cremations. Dante Palmer, 45 of Spring Lake, Cunningham and Sons Mortuary. Bishop James W. Dudley, 84 of Fayetteville, Pay Funeral Home and Cremations. Michael Lorenzo Thomas, 60 of Fayetteville, Wiseman Mortuary. In the Cape Fear region, Raymond Randall Johnson, 76 of Greensboro, formerly of Anderson Creek, Adcock Funeral Home, Spring Lake. James E. Mackle, 70 of Seaboard, formerly of Fayetteville, Askew Funeral Service, Jackson Chapel. Willie D. Locklear, 76 of Laurinburg, Richard Boyle's Funeral Service. View in Donley, 44 of Charlotte, formerly of Rayford, Sullivan's Highland Funeral Service and Crematory. Rosa Galbraith Ferguson, 86 of Maxton, S&L Funeral Home, Maxton. Justin Matthew Wright, 35 of Spring Lake, Adcock Funeral Home, Spring Lake. Joel McDonald, 81 of Laurinburg, formerly of Ohio, Richard Boyle's Funeral Service. Eva McCrae Grace, 75 of Rayford, Buey Funeral Home. In Cumberland County, Elda Smith Riley, 88 of Fayetteville, North Carolina, passed away peacefully on Saturday, June 2nd, 2018, at Cape Fear Valley Medical Center. The family will receive friends Wednesday, June 6th from 9:45 a.m. until 10:45 a.m. prior to services at the church. Funeral services will follow at 11 a.m. at Colbert Memorial United Methodist Church, with Reverend Heather Locklear and Reverend Tim Reeves officiating. Burial will follow at Lafayette Memorial Park. In lieu of flowers, the family requests that memorial contributions be made to Colbert Memorial United Methodist Church, 1813 Sloan Avenue, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28312. Online condolences may be made at sullivanshighland.com. Services are entrusted to Sullivan's Highland Funeral Service and Crematory. Daniel Cornell Ford, age 64 of Fayetteville, passed away on Friday, June 1st, 2018. Condolences may be sent to the family at capefearcrematory.com. Mr. Otis Faircloth, 84, passed away Friday, June 1st, 2018, at his home surrounded by his family. Funeral service was held on Sunday at Butler Funeral Home Chapel. Officiating were Reverend Tommy Honeycutt and Reverend Travis Hoke. Burial followed at Magnolia Baptist Church Cemetery. The family received friends on Sunday at the funeral home before the service. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be made to a charity of one's choice. Services entrusted to Butler Funeral Home, 6535 Clinton Road, Stedman, North Carolina, 28391. Yahweh Hamad, 70, passed away at the VA Medical Center on Tuesday, May 29, 2018. It was from Fayetteville. There will be a graveside service at Sand Hill State Veterans Cemetery on 8220 Bragg Boulevard in Fort Bragg on Friday, June 8, 2018 at 10 a.m. Barbara L. Curry of Hope Mills was born September 30th, 1946 and passed away May 25th, 2018. Memorial will be held at the House of Philadelphia at 2 p.m. 1660 Lake Upchurch Road in Parkton, North Carolina, 28371. Services entrusted to Affordable Cremations of North Carolina. Mary Rachel Graham, 85, of Fayetteville, died Saturday, June 2nd, 2018. Funeral will be held Wednesday at 11 a.m. at Wiseman Mortuary Chapel. The viewing will be at Wiseman Mortuary Tuesday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Services entrusted to Wiseman Mortuary. Region and elsewhere. Bessie Kate Joyce Patterson, age 97, born December 25th, 1920 in Stokes County, North Carolina, passed peaceably in her home in Rayford, North Carolina on May 30th, 2018. Graveside service will be held in her memory at Overlook Cemetery in Eden, North Carolina, Saturday, June 9th at 1 p.m. Friends and family are welcome to attend. Patrick Adam Pate, age 34 of Lumberton, passed away Sunday, June 3rd, 2018. The family will receive friends on Wednesday, June 6, 2018, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Floyd Mortuary and Crematory Incorporated in Lumberton. A memorial service will be held on Thursday, June 7, 2018, at 11 a.m. at First Presbyterian Church in Lumberton, the Reverend David Ruth and Reverend Eva Ruth officiating. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be made to Camp Monroe, 24501 Camp Monroe Road, Laurel Hill, North Carolina, 28351. Condolences may be made by visiting floydmortuary.net. Jean Douglas Dunaway, 78, of Birmingham, passed away Wednesday, May 23, 2018. The graveside service will be held on Thursday, June 7, 2018, at 11 a.m. at Lafayette Memorial Park, with the Reverend John Cook officiating. Arrangements by Jernigan Warren Funeral Home. That concludes today's obituaries.
Okay, from the writings of the Reverend Billy Graham. It's okay to mourn a loss longer than you may have expected. Question. I thought I was prepared for my husband's death last year, since he'd been battling cancer a long time. But I was wrong, and it's been the most painful experience I've ever had. He had a strong faith, and I know he's in heaven. But what's wrong with me? Answer. Nothing is wrong with you. God gave you to each other, and your grief is a sign of the love you shared over the years. Perhaps, as the Bible says, we don't grieve like the rest of mankind. We have no hope, but we still grieve.